Hello Dragons, I'm Bob Jones. I've come to present to you not only an extraordinary financial investment, such as you've probably never seen in your life before, but one with enormous sociological values as well. And here is a small illustration so you can follow me of the prototype of what I'm about to show you. Now, you'll notice it's called the Smackatron 2000. 2000 is because it's taken 6 years of solid research. Once we got the Labor government in, after they were dealing with the fairy issues, homosexuality, all that sort of stuff, we knew they'd ultimately move on to the normal conventional family. And anticipating that, that reached its culmination last year with Sue Bradford's anti-smacking laws. Now, as we all know, from time to time the odd child needs to be spanked. You go to jail if you spank a child now. That is going to, we've had enough chaos with excess welfareism over the year, intervention and this sort of thing. And the culmination of all that's happening now, we're going to get even more chaos in the future if this sort of thing is allowed to prevail, where you can't smack a child that needs to be smacked. So you don't go to jail. We have a machine that smacks the child instead. Can't put a machine in jail. It's not a criminal offence for a machine. A machine can't commit a criminal offence. As I said to you, it's had 6 years in research. You can see for yourself there's a great deal of technology here. You may wonder why, but it's offering a lot, especially given that a third of our population live in Auckland, and Auckland can't rely on electricity. It's offering a lot of alternative fuels, right down to the mouse that will turn the wheel, motivated by the cheese. So there's always energy sources. It's got backup gas things and so on. The parent sits here. The child is strapped in here. The machine goes round here and gives the child a smacking. You'll see the stereo in the middle to drown out howling sounds. You don't have to do that. You don't want to listen to music. Up here, where is it? There is a button, and you can deliver whatever voltage you want, up to 50,000 volts. Children are very easy to come by, so the kid, you really think, well, I don't need this bugger anymore. 50,000 volts gets rid of that child, and just start again if you want any more after that. Now, the market is enormous. 60% of New Zealanders, 3.5 million New Zealanders, are parents or grandparents. Grandparents will be big on this because they get grandchildren dumped on them. There's 1.5 million households in New Zealand. The potential in New Zealand is enormous. The potential in Sweden is enormous, where they have similar rules. Everywhere else is more civilised. So at this stage, we can't sell this thing anywhere else. But the potential in Sweden and New Zealand is enormous. It's going to market for about $1,500 with a 50% markup. I believe every home will have one, just as they'll have a fridge, this sort of thing. It'll be an essential tool to overcome a problem. So if you work out your numbers, you'll see that there's just a massive profit in this of somewhere around $1 billion in New Zealand. Sweden's double our population, a couple of billion there. And it may well be that Australia will follow suit with these sort of laws, and the worldwide potential carries on. The machine is also designed to break down from time to time, so that it has to be replaced. So there's an ongoing constant sale of new homes and this sort of thing, and old ones breaking down. And finally, what I'm looking for is I'm prepared to give away 10% of this for $1 million for starters.
I'm Julie, and you mentioned that you think they can't put a machine in prison. Could this not be considered a weapon?
No, no, I don't believe it to be considered a weapon, because you could always operate it by a push button or something. But we'll deal with that.
Okay, so it's not a weapon. Could it be termed a preventative device? Do you think if a child saw it sitting in the middle of your lounge, they would never do anything to be smacked? That'd be true. Never
do anything to
be smacked. I mean, is it preventative, do you think? Do you think that just looking at it would stop a child from being naughty?
Well, there's that factor as well, yes. It would probably have a very good deterrence factor. We can reasonably assume that. It's certainly you haven't given absolutely given them 50,000 volts, then the issue doesn't arise. You've got rid of them. You've had a cost of a funeral, of course, but it's easy to have another one.
Have you given any consideration, my name's Barry, have you given any consideration to the to the degrees of slap, because some children need a bigger slap than other children because the crime is worse.
But you can turn it off. You can increase the volume. Obviously, the speed will increase the smacking impact.
So it won't make it any harder.
Oh yes, you can make it harder by going faster. This thing can go faster. You've got speed control as well. Okay, and then, of course, it depends how long you want to smack them for.
Sure. So if it's a really good beating, can you gauge it so just before the skin comes off?
You can put them in there for 24 hours and beat them to death. That would be very satisfying in some circumstances, I should think, yeah.
But you'd recommend the high voltage if you just wanted to beat them.
Well, I'd rather them do 24 hours. That's a bit unkind. It's better to just knock them.
Could I ask, Bob, what do you think the age range is for usage?
Ah, well, of course, it's also got another market. I suppose it's not to we're all adults. It would appeal to... It's got a potential market there for adults, yes.
Can you use it on errant husbands, yes or no? Has it got a height restriction? Can you up and down it?
Get in there.
You can up and down it.
I think there's a lot of potential there. Englishman, I imagine. Annette, was it? Yeah. A lot of potential there. There are a lot of women in New Zealand that are a great deal bigger than their husbands, as you know. So they shouldn't have any difficulty getting them and strapping them in. Yes, so I think there's a lot of market potential there.
What would the chance of government funding for it?
We don't need any government funding. It's a winner.
Surely ACC would give it out to injured parents who can't smack their children hard enough.
Injured parents? Haven't thought about that. Yeah, we could probably get funding for welfare parents and wheelchairs and that, yeah.
What I am surprised about, Bob, is that you would come here in a beige suit without a tie for a pitch.
Yes, I thought about that, and I thought, well, what can I do to attract your attention?
I see.
Bob,
you can have a beard or sunglasses on your head.
Bob, my name's
Would you
Paul.
be more comfortable if I put my glasses? They're not sunglasses, unfortunately. I'll put them on here. Pass me the cell phone.
My name's Paul, and I would have thought you'd done something with that hair of yours, you know.
With
your hair, you would have put it to one side or something. But putting that to one side, I think it's a great machine, but I really think you're underselling it. $1,500 a machine. I'd have one in my house this afternoon if you could get one in there.
Paul, at my age, I don't need the money, frankly. I'm prepared to give it away. As I say, $1 million for 10% of it.
How old are you? 100, is it, or?
Very old.
I see another inherent
at least
problem.
5 years older than you.
You've got a teacup holder here. Is there any chance you get a wine cup?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
There's a teacup holder here for the lazy parent. Could you change that over for a wine holder?
Well, that's just the modesty of the artist, I'm afraid.
I could see some value in having a little refrigerator there, so you could have a bit of Chardonnay in the fridge.
Here's the prototype. If you were serious, you'd have a prototype, wouldn't you?
Well, can I ask, have you patented this yet? Because I know the Missouri Steamship Company has a very similar device. They might be pretty upset to find you flogging it off as a belting machine.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't patented it. I should think it speaks for itself insofar as it's automatic, as it's obviously innovative, but I'm certain we haven't done that yet, but we're getting on to it.
Bob, I've got another question for you. How quickly do you think you get one of these into every household?
How what?
Quickly would you get this into every household?
Well,
because you're predicting $1 billion in profit. How quickly would that be delivered on?
Oh, there's $1 billion in profit in it, yeah.
So I'm not so driven on the money.
It can justify a massive TV campaign.
Getting these things
I've thought about
house,
door-to-door salesmen, commission salesmen. There's a lot of ways of marketing it.
Okay.
We know that common sense says that every household would have one.
Absolutely.
And so, therefore, a quick, short, sharp TV campaign. The important thing is the wind-up production to be able to deliver quickly. And you can imagine, of course, the much happier world we'd suddenly have. There'd be a lot of flow-on benefits. One of the things about this investment is you can feel very altruistic about doing God's work.
One thing that concerns me, though, is that you may be solving a non-existent problem. It seems to me that there's a lot of people out there smacking their kids on their own.
Ah, that's a very good point. That's a weakness. So we need to step up the policing.
Right.
And we need to get a system going of reportage. I thought about that, actually. That had crossed my mind.
So you'd produce some
the thing's
data.
got so much fat in it, so much profit in it. I thought what we need is to employ an army of snoops around there to prosecute people who are seen smacking at children, so they all have to buy this. So cover that contingency as well.
And then you could record the data on how many children are actually...
I mean, we'll soon knock it out of them to stop smacking their kids and use the machine instead, yeah.
I think if you come in here asking for money, you've got to be well prepared.
I think I'm very well prepared.
And I have some concerns about how well prepared you are. However, I'll be prepared to front with...
Prepared? You should be very grateful.
Pardon?
You should be very grateful for the opportunity. This is free money.
I thought I was the one with the money. Anyway, okay, I'll give you 350, but I'm a bit of a control freak. You didn't know that. So I'll front 350 for 51%.
Oh.
And maybe someone else would like to come in to make it
Another police matter. Call the police. Attempted fraud. Anyone else?
Bob, I'd like to solve an existing problem, and I'm happy to go on with Julie, and I will invest $300,000 for with her. But part of the deal, I'd like 25% of Robert Jones Holding as well.
No, all you're doing is illustrating the general, not your fault of course, genetic evilness of women. Anyone else?
Well, Bob, getting to that point, I wouldn't like to be involved in business with either of them in this sort of device,
No,
because it's
right,
really
Paul,
a
very
machine
wise,
for
yeah.
the men of the house. You know, the last thing we want is for all these women to get their hands on one. So,
Listen, you homo background.
He's always been driven to homosexuality as well. I've done it
well,
down.
she's had a go at driving me to homosexuality,
yeah.
but it hasn't
Sorry,
worked.
$1 million,
But putting that to
10%
one
the
side, I'll
bottom
give
line.
you $1 million,
Yeah.
You know that.
but I want 75%
No,
of the
no,
thing.
no. This is
Come on, Bob.
No.
Bob,
No. I can keep it for myself.
well, what's the money going for anyway? Where's
staff
the $1
can run.
million going? Explain that to me.
In my pocket.
Jesus.
Bob, I
We
don't
don't
think,
need the money to do it. That's my payoff for the 10%, for the fortune that lies in this thing. The market's huge. Every house will have this. They'll have this before. Look, you get a young couple, get married, have a child. Within 2 months, if they're on the bones of their bum and they just haven't still bought a fridge, they'll buy this first.
Of course they will.
Of
The
course,
male
right,
will.
exactly,
You
yeah.
don't leave it to the hands of the woman. They run the rest of the bloody country.
Bob, I think you're just the man to run this company, so I think you should retain his share. I'd be happy to pay you $2 million for it, and you keep 25%.
That's an acceptable deal. Thank you.
Well, hang on.
No.
I might want
Wait,
to up that.
we're not out yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the women count in this anyway, but I'll...
He's definitely turned.
Turn to what?
He is definitely turned, and it wasn't because
Turn
of
to what?
me.
We can't let these women get their hands on this device.
Are you two
Bob.
related? Barry's offered $2 million
All right,
for
so
75%.
I've
Get
got
on
$2
with
million
it.
for 25%,
No,
and I'm happy to
75.
accept that.
He's only letting you have 25.
You're only getting 25.
Oh, no, that's unacceptable. No, away you
No,
go.
well, we only want you there to manage it. We don't want you
No,
to
I'm
take
not
the
going to manage
profits.
it. This is the point. We'll pass it on to somebody else to
Well,
do the
I'm
whole.
happy to
It's
do
so
one of-
simple. Look, it will sell itself. Everyone. It's absolutely.
But you
Look,
just
there will be
agreed, you
government
just
funding
agreed to
for it,
sell
actually.
75. No,
I won't promote government funding. I don't approve of that for this sort of thing. But they'll do it to get round their own bloody laws. They're doing that sort of thing all the time.
It concerns me. I thought you were a man of your word. You just did a deal with Barry here.
No,
and
I
now you've
misunderstood.
welched
I
on
thought
it.
he was offering to take 25%.
Oh, right.
No.
Not leave you with 25.
No way. We can replay the tape, but I own it at the moment. You're just working there because you're the best guy for the job.
Well, it looks like I've been outdone.
All right, is that the last offer?
Well, much as I like
Admire
it,
it.
you know what? I grew up just getting the hearth brush. And that seemed to have done a reasonably good
Yeah, but
job.
it's illegal now.
And you know what? They were about $4.99 at the warehouse after. And then I believe before that it was a green hide stick or something. I can't quite remember that. But yeah, I grew up getting the hearth brush, and
Did it do you good?
debatable. So, you know, I'd offer 1.5 million, but since Barry's already got you for 2 million, my name's Julie and I'm out.
All right.
My name's Paul and I'm in, but it's just a case of working out the deal. At the moment, you sound like you might have something with Barry here.
Well, can
what
I
if I
change
teamed
my-
up with Barry?
Well, seeing as you're negotiating, I'll tell you what I'll do. You can have, for 10 million,
Based on what
you
you're
can have
saying,
half.
you and him,
But
that'll
you run
work.
it. 10 million, you can have half.
I
It's
can't.
free money.
I can't do that.
You can't.
No.
You don't have 10 million.
No, of
All
course
right.
not, Bob.
Have you got 10 million in it?
Absolutely, but I'm not giving it to you, mate.
All right, well, if this is your attitude, I'm going to keep the whole bloody thing myself.
No,
And
I think it's an awesome idea, and I'd give you $2 million as long as that included 25% of Robert Jones Holdings,
No,
because
no,
that
that's-
is an existing problem that I'm eager to help solve.
Yeah,
And I would just so love to work with you,
So that's
Bob.
your offer. No,
Well, what
that's a-
other ideas have you got, Bob? Could we
a
own
lot,
all of
a
your
lot, but
future
that's-
ideas?
A lot, but we deal with this one first.
We're interested in your cell phone, Gemma.
I think I'm out, actually. I'll leave
All
it
right,
up to
I'll
Barry.
keep it for
He's
myself.
the man for the job.
Barry and Annette.
Well, my offer's been rejected.
Yep. So, Julie,
I'm out, Bob. I'm
So
out
everybody
because I
out?
believe in the hearth brush for $4.99 at the
Well,
warehouse.
Bob, what do you think about
you're
me?
missing the point. That's illegal.
Bob,
I
what do you
know.
think about me as a partner in Sir Robert Jones
No,
Holdings?
no.
I've got a lot to offer you.
I'm not going
I'm
to tell
pretty
you what I
bloody
think.
special.
You asked me a question. Fortunately, as you never listen to answers, it doesn't matter if I give you an honest one. What I think about that is nightmarish.
Don't hold
That
back,
is
Bob.
so rude. In the beginning I would have cried, but
Geez,
now...
that's the first time you've ever listened to an answer of one of your questions.
And I love you
Okay,
too.
well, you're all out. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to know if he's tried it on his evil little bastard that he calls his son.
You know what? I think the man was ill-prepared.
Ill-prepared?
Very, very poorly dressed.
Hang on, he came back in.
And I don't think he listened to a word we said.
Well, what I don't get is why someone has the arrogance to come in here in a beige suit with a blue shirt.
And black shoes.
No mobile phone. We're in the 21st century. We
If
need
you edit that, will it
communications.
be-
Hello?
Will that...
Bob, hard luck there. They loved the product, but it seemed as though greed was the deal breaker.
Yes, they're silly, aren't they? But, I mean, this is free money.
Do you not feel as though you were being a little greedy? I mean, you had 4 deals on the table there. You were, I think, $10 million was even offered at one stage.
Well, my view on that was it was an altruistic gesture by me to even let them in. It's such a great thing. It'll just, every home will have one. And to allow them in, they should have been grabbing at it. And, you know, I walk away in those circumstances.
What about the experience itself? Were you nervous in there?
No.
You had no problems dealing with the dragons. I mean, they've got a great reputation in the business world.
On what basis? They look a pretty shabby lot to me.
And they actually came in with a deal which you accepted initially, $2 million,
No,
allowing
I
you...
misunderstood it. I thought he said $2 million for 25%, and he meant the reverse.
And 75% was never going to be
No,
it.
no, it's free money. I don't mind. He could have it for $2 million, and I'll have 75%. I mean, he'll have that back in a day, for God's sake.
Are you disappointed there wasn't more negotiation over the percentage there?
No, I never negotiate when I do things anyway. This is the deal, take it or leave it. I don't do it when I'm buying buildings, etc. So, you know, whatever they say they want for their building, I accept it or not. I don't like haggling. It's old-fashioned. It went out in the mid-19th century with the first department store in America. First time there'd ever been fixed prices on anything. It was civilised.
Do you think the dragons were a little unfair on your presentation? They were criticising the beige with the blue with the black shoes.
They're not black shoes. They're shoes that match. They're dark brown. But no, not at all. They're entitled to their opinions. You saw the way they were dressed, of course. So I don't mind criticism coming from well-dressed people. It was coming from badly dressed people, so I was quite happy about that, yeah.
And for the product itself, where to with the Smackatron 2000?
Oh, well, we'll just go ahead with it and be mobbed, etc. I mean, I'll do it mainly through altruism. It's, you know, so required in the country. It's not the money. It's just so essential, of course.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming into
Thank
the
you.
den, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank
Bob.
you.